a good, they did really good things. They said, okay, let's, rather than having our kids go around to each different class and aren't there ways to better integrate this? So this is 10 years ago, but they were thinking of, let's co-teach math and science, and let's make sure we start doing a lot of project-based activities. These kids need to be doing some real hands-on work. Let's embed math into some big science project. Art was integrated into English so that kids were working on their English, but they were art projects, and they were creating PowerPoint at the time. PowerPoint, you remember when PowerPoint was amazing? PowerPoint, so that kids were creating their own kind of PowerPoints that were their, instead of having to write a paper, I was doing a PowerPoint about the book that we read. They had disciplinary things were met with group meetings. So when you had a disciplinary problem, they did something, it's a thing I've been working on, they call restorative justice model. So they brought everybody around, and if it was something that you did to somebody else, now we bring the victim and the offender together in the group, and we talk about what happened.
I just wanted to be able to do
it. They implemented, and this was amazing, because what they learned at one point was they were getting kids returning, which is not unusual. Kids come back a lot, but they were getting the wrong kids returning. And they would say, we thought you were set. You got out of here, you were ready to get your diploma. We thought you'd go back to high school. And they started to ask the kids, instead of just thinking this, they started let's ask the kids what the heck is going on. And the kids were reporting that they went back to school, and the very first day they got in trouble. Then they were told, you're expelled. He's like, I just went and shoplifted. I knew I'd come back here and I'd get my diploma. Or I knew if I violated my parole, I'd come back here and I'd get a GED. So then they created a transition program. So they said, okay, when kids are done here, we're gonna allow them to go into a transition housing program. And if they want to, we can go to public school if that's best. If they want to keep coming here, they can come. And you started to get kids who were actually getting a diploma. I mean, these are things that don't happen. There was I worked in the Texas system for a full year. 0 kids received a diploma. 0. Now, they're in accredited high school. 0 diplomas. And, GEDs, they were really focused on GEDs, but when we analyzed how they did that, they went and tested all the kids who were close to getting their GEDs, and then they gave them the GED test. And if they didn't pass, they just put them in an intensive thing and got them through the GED. No kids who weren't getting their GED within the first 6 months got GEDs. So, it's just a different model. And I think, they did good work. There's a couple of models in Colorado that are really good. There was one that they had no fences or locks. And I was with a guy with Mike Bullets, who was, back 10 years ago, he was, to me, this is the god of this world. And he was like, I'm really uncomfortable here. What do you mean you can walk out? And they had an escape attempt ever. And they were like, look. They would bring in school. They had a football or a track team that was really competitive, and they brought out the community came into they would have meets there. They're like, we're not gonna. Why should we always have to go to the other schools? We have a good facility. Community came in. They had a stadium, and they won the state track meet one. Just a different model. Like, yeah, these kids, they can't leave here. We all know that, but should we treat them like they're convicted adult felons who? I don't even think we should treat them like that, but that's
I mean, and I think that's the issue. I think a lot of the kids are going into incarceration are kids that need more assistance.
Yes.
And, when you're embarrassed to perform in a classroom, the best way out is to do something destructive, So it's unfortunate, I'm glad to hear that there's something going on, but I do think that there needs to be a lot more done, than what's being done. I mean, what we have at the university is all the people who went to the better schools, got the good IEPs, but the number of students of color I have is You know, we've got the football players and the basketball players, you know, who got there on scholarship, you know, but it's like, you know, that's just not right. You know what I mean? I see it every day. That's 0 minutes.
Yeah.